Hey listener, and welcome to another podcast by Lath for Learners. This is your host Armughan, and this has been a series of journey that you have been having with me, and we share a lot of ideas, share a lot of meaning. We have a lot of meaningful conversations. We learn new things. I learn new things by speaking with you, and today's episode is actually also related to the education system, and the thing that I'm going to talk about today is that I want to say some things, some really important things. These things they are the most critical factor that there is, the most critical factor of achievement in our education system. And I don't know anything much more devilish, much more evil than these things, and much more destructive than these numbers, these just GPAs, these marks. That's what I'm actually talking about. These marks have destroyed us, our thinking, and they affect us in so many ways, because we have associated so much emotions to them. We have associated so much meaning to them. These are just numbers. They don't mean anything, but we have associated meaning with them, a lot of meaning with them. So they carry tremendous power among themselves and upon us, if we let them control us, and this has been happening. Marks are controlling our behavior every day. Why do we go to college? Why do we give tests? And why do we prepare for tests? To get better marks, of course. We don't. I mean, some of you, for some of you, the story might be, और कुछ ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं, उनकी स्टोरी यही होती है कि वी आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर द अंडरस्टैंडिंग. If you really cared for the understanding, mister, you would have gone and you would have questioned the topic in so many ways, and you would have explored so many other things. You would not be giving a test, because a test is not a test of understanding, it's a test of memorization. 90% जो हमारे टेस्ट होते हैं यहाँ पे हमारे ये होता है कि memorizing the topic is, of course, very basic thing, and you have to memorize it, not even understand it. Memorize it in the exact way that it's written. Memorize it in the exact you have to in the exact headings in which it is written in the books, the exact format. You have to follow the exact format, and if you don't follow it, you have a lower chance of getting good marks. And then the other thing is 50%, maybe, I don't know, one factor is this. The other factor is that you have to present it in a way so that some X person, the examiner, whoever checks the paper, he likes it. You have to present it in a way. You don't have to present it in a way in which you like it, in which you'll be creative about it. You are not given much room to think. You're given just a little box, and you have to fit everything inside that box. And who decorates the box from the inside very well gets the marks, wins the score, and is the brilliant student in class. That's not how it works. In reality, that's not how it works. I'm sorry if you are brilliant in class. You are not brilliant in my podcast. And please take this on a lighter note. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just kidding with you. I'll break it to you why. The why of marks. The reason why they're so evil. First, let me share with you a story. In any class, actually it's my experience for my class, and it has stayed like this, and I'm very sure that in any class in our country, Pakistan में कोई भी ऐसी जो भी class है, in any class, when the tests are checked and they come into your class, the environment changes. I have felt this so many times. When the teacher comes in with the test, the environment, all of a sudden, in an instant, it changes. It changes from very relaxed. It is not actually relaxed in the education system. You are not allowed to do that there, because relaxation is not what you came from. Relaxation is not what you're paying for. You're paying for learning, and that's not even what you're paying for. If you really see, you're just paying for I don't know what you're paying for. I really nobody really knows what they're paying for or what they're getting from it. By the way, when the teacher comes in class with the test, the environment changes. It goes in a second, in a split second, it goes into a stress, anxiety, a fearful environment. Because everybody, even those who have performed well in the test, just because of the culture, it has become a culture. Just because of the culture, they start feeling stressed. I personally, I'm not superhuman. I feel the same way. I feel so stressed, so anxiety, and this is I don't like this feeling. I don't want it, and most of the time, I care very less for my marks. Even though if I don't get, अगर अच्छे नहीं भी आते या अगर अच्छे आते भी हैं, in both scenarios, I don't care for my marks. I really don't. So अभी तो सिर्फ टेस्ट्स आए हैं. We don't even know the result, and these marks, they have an effect on us. We change our thinking pattern, we go into stressful states, we feel anxiety, and then what happens next is the roll number call starts. जिसका पहला रोल नंबर होता है उससे हम खुद को बारी बारी सबसे खुद को कंपेयर करते रहते हैं. बेस्ड ऑन आवर रीसेंट एक्सपीरियंसेस, क्योंकि क्लास में आप रहते हैं तो आपको लगता है कि ये बच्चा मुझसे ज़रा अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहा है, ये ज़रा ये है, ये वो है. तो वी इवन इफ आपने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया है, हम करते ये हैं कि ऑल ऑफ अस डू दिस, दैट वी कंपेयर आवर सेल्फ विद अदर्स. वी स्टार्ट कंपेयरिंग आवर सेल्फ वन बाय वन. अच्छा, उसके इतने मार्क्स आए हैं, मेरे तो उससे भी कम आए होंगे. वन एंड दिस एग्जैक्ट फ्रेज, we are so much interested in what marks that X kid is getting, that we filter ourselves through his perception, through his marks, not his perception, through his marks. And this behavior, this doesn't stop in class. This grows in life. And tell me something. What will happen if today you start comparing your life with every person, whether if you think if he is lower than you or if he is higher than you, based on any criteria? What will happen? Come on, think about it for a second. What will happen if you start doing this very oftenly? Of course, there are some people who are always above you, and there are some people who are always below you, based on whatever criteria you're judging them. But what if you start focusing completely on both of them, on either of them? What if you start focusing on the ones below you? You'll feel too much comfortable. You'll feel happier, but you'll feel too much comfortable staying in a place, and you won't do what you won't grow. You won't try for more because you are already above them, right? In your mind, you're already above them. So there's not a level that you will try to go. They always say that if you're in the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So if you compare yourself with everybody else, you're in the wrong room. And what will happen if you start comparing yourself with everybody who's above you? What will happen? Of course there are people who are above you. There are people who are above me, above you, above every one of us, who are greater than us. What will happen if we start comparing our lives with them? We'll start feeling much more depressed, much more stressed, much more anxiety. We'll start feeling these emotions on a regular basis. These emotions will destroy us, these emotions. And these are just emotions. They're not, just by changing your focus, changing your perception, you change your emotion, and then you change the decisions you make, and then you change your life. Tony Robbins says that emotions are the leading force in life. They are the richness in life, emotions. So in a way, what is really Marx teaching us? It teaches us to compare ourselves with others. Because these two numbers thing, these 2-digit numbers, they don't mean anything. Albert Einstein said that everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. So what we are doing here, based on just a piece of paper, what we are doing is something very stupid. We are making these fishes climb up a tree and then climb down and do a 10-mile run, and the one who wins is the one who's the best. All of us are not great in one dimension. If you're great at singing, he might be great at writing, he might be great at dancing, that person might be great being an astronaut, that might be great being an entrepreneur, I might be great at speaking. So all of us have different things. And if we just take these 7 to 8 people and we give them a physics test and we judge them based on that criteria, that the numbers, the grades that we get, that's not valuable response. That's not actually the best way to, whatever you try to do with marks, you try to calculate, right? That's not the best way to judge how hard a person is, how hardworking a person is, or how great he is. Because that marks only in one dimension. That test only work in one dimension. Standardized testing is wrong and it must be stopped. And it's not me who's saying that. The inventor of multiple choice question and standardized testing, he himself said that John F. Kennedy, I don't remember the exact name, but he said this, that these tests are too crude to be used and they must be stopped. They are too raw to be used. They are not, they're just too raw. They are not the accurate form of judging people. And it's just a test of memorization. Again, it's just a test of memorization. It's not of understanding. It's not even something valuable. It's just your memory. We don't need our memory. We live in the 21st century. Somebody asked Albert Einstein that what is the speed of sound in air? And he replied, and this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. I love this. He said that what's the point in memorizing that? That knowledge is already available in books. Why do I have to fill my mind with this? So why do we have to fill our mind with all this bullshit that there is? All this crap that there is? And by the way, we live in the 21st century. We have a smartphone for it. We have a smartphone. We don't have to worry about carrying, a bag of books even. We just have it in our pocket. All the knowledge is in our pocket that we need. And still we just go on memorizing, and then we evaluate based on the numbers that we get. That is the most stupid way that there is right now. They lead to anxiety, they lead to stress, and then they lead to comparison. We subconsciously form this behavior all over our lives. And we start comparing ourselves with other people as well. That if somebody is studying arts, और ये pretty basic चीज़ है कि कोई arts पढ़ रहा है और एक बच्चा जो science पढ़ रहा है, तो science one is always he is considered the greater because science is hard, arts is easy. We have started comparing ourselves, right? और ये this has been happening from, I don't remember actually when marks की इतनी value थी, मगर मुझे इतना पता है कि marks were a symbol of fear for me. When I was in my 5 or 4 class, I was so fearful of getting bad grades that I did everything so I could get good ones. और एक दफ़ा क्योंकि why was I fearful? Because of the behavior I saw. I was fearful of the teacher beating students. Actually, they did that. और आज के उसमें तो काफ़ी हद तक ये अलाउ नहीं है. अगर हमारे टीचर्स कहते हैं कि वो जो पिछला ज़माना था ना वो ज़्यादा अच्छा था. We are so afraid of change. We humans, we are afraid of change because change is not easy. Change is always for the better, but change is not easy. It takes some effort and it takes some time. So हम कहते हैं कि वो जो ज़माना था वो अच्छा था क्योंकि आजकल के बच्चे बहुत entitled हैं और हमारे टीचर्स थे वो हमें 4 लगाते थे, नहीं याद होता था, फिर 4 लगाते थे, नहीं याद होता था, फिर 4 लगाते थे. और अभी तो ऐसा कर ही नहीं सकते, ज़्यादा नहीं कर सकते. होता भी है स्कूल्स में. आई स्टडीड इन स्कूल जहाँ पे ये इतना अभी भी इस टाइम में भी 21st सेंचुरी में भी इतना ज़्यादा था. एंड आई समटाइम्स वंडर कि वाई, like seriously, we live in the 21st century and still we are going through all this crap. We don't have to. We don't necessarily have to. Getting back to our topic on marks, another very critical thing is that marks deprive us of the love of learning. Marks deprive us of our creativity, our curiosity. And how do they do that? Marks have become the end goal. Tell me something. What is the most frequently asked question in class? Will this be on the test? Will this be on the test? And in the college which I study in, the teacher always says that this is very important, respective to the board, respective to your exam. और बढ़ते ही ज़्यादा मुँह है, ज़्यादा फोकस ही उसी पे होता है जो बोर्ड के हिसाब से ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. दिस बोर्ड, एंड आई हेट दीज बोर्ड्स सो मच. Let me tell you a quote from Mark Twain, and a very funny thing is that I have written it on the back side of my clipboard. So actually college can, there's written this big in big font name of my college, and just near it I have written that this quote from Mark Twain: first God made idiots, that was just for practice. Idiots were just for practice. Then he made school boards. The real idiots are school boards. So what we want to do from our whole education career is that we want to get good marks. We want to get a good GPA in our universities. And these marks have become the end goal. They deprive us from our love of learning, because when we are just studying for marks, we don't have curiosity. With the marks we get, the test we have, they are just a test of memorization. So we just memorize. We don't understand. Not the worst, but one scenario is this, that we understand, but we just understand as to the barrier of marks. Marks have become a barrier, and we are not allowed to go beyond it, because that's not needed, that's not appreciated in college, and that's not actually needed. They say that it's not your thing to do this right now. You just have to get good grades and just stay there and not grow, not think, don't question. So the worst case scenario is that if we are preparing for marks, we don't even understand, we just memorize it as it is written. That's the worst case scenario, and that's called rote learning. Rote learning is the worst case scenario, and that is happening very widely in our schools, in our education system. And a very fun thing is कि जब हम कहते हैं ना कि ये बच्चा समझ सकता है और ये बच्चा रट्टे लगा सकता है, हम एक्चुअली फिर वही बात है कि वी आर जस्ट टॉकिंग इन वन डायमेंशन. आई थिंक एवरीबडी कैन अंडरस्टैंड, मगर हमें उसको समझाना आया नहीं है. ऑल ऑफ अस हैव डिफरेंट वेज ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग. वी जस्ट टीच इन वन वे. दैट्स वाई कुछ ऐसे बच्चे हैं जो समझ लेते हैं, और कुछ ऐसे बच्चे हैं जो समझ सकते ही नहीं हैं. In our definition, they have the same mental capabilities and they have the same understanding, but we think that कि ये हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम में अप्लाई नहीं करते, तो ये किसी तरह से गलत है. This is one of the most stupidest thing that I've heard. Again, less stupid than Marx, but less stupid than the Mark thing. Marks becoming the end goal deprive us of the love of learning, and that's why everyone is running away from college. Everyone hates college. Everybody hates school. And then we go, why do we hate learning? No, we don't hate learning. We don't hate education. We just hate these marks which judge us. They have become the end goal, and then when we are just studying for marks, we just memorize. We don't actually ask. We are not curious. We are not creative. We don't look beyond the topic. and we deprive ourselves of the love of learning, and that's why we just don't want to learn more. हम बुक खोलते हैं तो ऐसे लगता है जैसे वो फीलिंग आती है कि जैसे पता नहीं क्या है, कितना कैसे अजाब है. But this is why this is. And one other thing is that Marx gave a promote to cheating, to that lying behavior. Those students who try their best and who work on other things, they have raised up in such a way. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि उनकी fault है, but they are just made in such a way that they think other things are important, and the easiest way for them to get marks is to cheat. If you don't have marks, no one would cheat. But there is no purpose of marks, and that's why I think we should not have them. And then when जब चीटिंग की बात आती है तो फिर हम कहते हैं कि हम ये स्टूडेंट्स ही ख़राब हैं, इनका कोई ईमान ही नहीं है, ये चीट करके टेस्ट देते हैं, इनकी एजुकेशन ही नहीं है. एजुकेशन तो तब भी नहीं है जब हम टेस्ट चीट करके ना दें, सही तरह याद करके दें. एजुकेशन तो तब भी नहीं है, बिकॉज वेरी रिस्पेक्टफुली द word education is derived from the word educator, and it means to bring out the best in you, to bring out the best. And what schools and education, what you guys are doing is you are taking out the best in us. You're not bringing it out, you're taking it out. Understand the difference between the two terms. Marx gave a promote to this cheating behavior because they have so much power. They affect us, and we just have to get marks in any way. We just have to survive. Marks are, they're like just survival thing. They have made marks necessary for our survival. They're not necessary. That's how Marx is. All of this mark thing is ruining us, ruining our education system, ruining our learning, ruining each student individually, ruining our lives. And that's why I think it should be stopped, because it teaches us anxiety, stress, and then it gives you a fear of failing as well, because if you fail, what is the behavior the same thing that I had when I was in 5 or 4 class. It gives you, they have become the end goal. It deprives you of your natural capabilities such as creativity, such as curiosity, and then they also give a promote to cheating. So that's why I think this grading system, this mark system, it must be stopped, and we must develop something real. We must judge humans as if they are humans, not some robots performing tasks. And whoever performs the best task gets a 10 out of 10. Who performs an average gets a 5, and who does the worst job gets a 0. And the 0 one is the way he's dealt with. It's just a robotic way, and it's just inhumane. This is the reason marks must be stopped, and when we stop them, we'll see an uplifting in learning, an uplifting in education. I believe this, and I'm sure of it. And not only in education, this will also impact our lives. Just as stress, anxiety, and comparison with others affect our life, same way that getting rid of marks would affect our life as well. Life would be so much easier, so much happier, so much funnier if we just get rid of marks. So this is today's episode, and I really loved this speaking with you on this very evilish topic. Evilish is not a word. Is it a word? Evilish, is it a word? I don't think so. If it's not, I just made it. Add it in your dictionary. English. I'll see you in the next episode, and till then, take care. Allah Hafiz, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you. High five.